I've had so many people ring and ask about the journey, because they're going through it themselves, and they just like a few ideas of what maybe else they could do to help themselves. So yeah, I really, honestly and truly, I feel that it's my place now to give back and show all those people you can pull through, you know, with a positive mind and do the right thing by your body, and you can pull through. I think that's my, what do you call that? That's my calling.
Your calling,
yeah. Yeah, to try and help other people. Yeah, and you know, I go to a clinic every Thursday, and it's always full of people that have probably just been diagnosed or are really battling, and I sit there and talk for hours, you know, because like I said, I'm blessed. So I sit there and talk for hours about what I've been through, and you know, they ask me all the questions, and I really get a kick out of that. Diagnosed almost 7 years ago with bowel cancer. Had no idea. Was still at work and clocking horses, and fell down in the hut and went, I've got no idea what's wrong with me. I got a bit of a backache. That was about all that my signs were. And by the time I was in hospital, and by the time they did a colonoscopy, it had actually perforated my bowel. So that probably made me in a bit more trouble than most people, because bowel cancer is actually not too bad a cancer to have, because if it's restricted to the bowel and it doesn't get out, it's happy days. But unfortunately for me, it did perforate the bowel. And so 2 years later to the lungs, and 2.5 years after that to the lymph nodes. Twice the diagnosis was get your affairs in order. And twice I'm there like, I've got too much to live for. I've got a great family, I love training racehorses, I just love being here, so I wasn't ready to get off. So yeah, I got the all clear for all the cancers and circulating cancer cell count, which is the most important count that you can get if you've got cancer. And it's all 0, 0, 0. So now I can get on with my life, do what I love doing, training racehorses.
Gold Coast Turf Club is really looking forward to another edition of the Pink Ribbon Cup. We've been building this day probably for the last 13 years. It started out with about 30 people just in a room somewhere. Now we get about 5,000 or 6,000 people on course. The Gold Coast Turf Club, Brett Cook and Steve Lyons have done a fantastic job, as I said, to get this as a standalone Saturday. It was a huge day last year. First time we had it as a Metropolitan meeting, and we're looking forward to growing on that again this year. It's the single biggest day in Australia for raising funds for those people who have had to suffer from, unfortunately, from breast cancer. We went close to raising nearly $200,000 last year, and plans are in place to grow that even further this year.
Yeah, I think anyone that's had cancer would resonate. That's such a big day, and I think you'll find a lot of the ladies there that do promote the Pink Ribbon Day have all gone through cancer as well. So yeah, it does hit home, and then you realise, how great. Well, I'm very, very grateful to still be here, and no doubt there's a lot of women over there also feel the same way. Just grateful to be alive.
That's one of our big drivers, is we try to put a lot back into the community. So we have a Police Legacy, Ronald McDonald. We have a number of fundraisers throughout the year. This is easily our biggest, but we had Men Matter race day recently, which was all about men's health, and that was huge. We had, I think, 900 people in the event centre on that day. So, and that was the first year of it. So that's just another indication of what it is we're trying to do to, help raise funds for the community. The Racing Queensland's done a significant amount to try and promote the Spring Carnival here in Queensland. This race ties in with a number of other races that eventually lead into the Wheatwood. So there's a good program of racing on. I think there's the Pink Ribbon Cup's worth $125,000. There's another 2 races on the day that are worth $100,000. So plenty of good prize money, and I think we'll see a lot of good local horses.
It's such a great cause, and I think the whole of the people of the Gold Coast get behind it, mainly because it is Pink Ribbon, help people out that have got cancer. I think you find out now they probably turn people away. They can sell so many tickets to go to that event, and yeah, it's turned out a really big event, the Gold Coast.